Thank you. As early as this time next week, the FDA could give emergency approval to Pfizer's COVID vaccine for kids who are 12 to 15.
And their trial showed near perfect results. And today, two pediatric doctors with Spectrum Health answered some questions about this huge development.
Pretty much a foregone conclusion that the FDA will authorize it.
By early next week, the FDA is expected to give the okay for children ages 12 to 15 to get their Pfizer shot. Their clinical trials involving 2,000 participants in that age group showing perfect results.
The results of it were impressive to say the least. They did not have one case of COVID-19 infection in any of the vaccine recipients.
Tuesday, Dr. Liam Sullivan and Dr. Rosemary Olivero, both pediatric specialists with Spectrum Health, answered questions as hospitalizations among younger patients continued to skyrocket. In the first year of the pandemic, children made up only about 3% of cases.
Now, as of this week, we're looking at children accounting for more than 22% of the COVID-19 infections in the United States right now.
Their active lifestyle, coupled with the presence of variants, have made kids a target for the ever-changing virus.
They do a lot of activities. They participate in school and extracurriculars. And this is a population that is really important when it comes to trying to get past the pandemic and avoid more novel variants from surfacing.
So pediatric specialists are now hearing out concerns. Dr. Olivero says one in particular they're hearing from both adolescents and their parents.
It really centers around these myths about the mRNA vaccines potentially impacting fertility. And I just want to say that those myths have been busted. They are not true.
With this particular age group making up such a large part of the American population, experts say it's imperative they get their vaccines when they can. And they're now advising schools to consider incentivizing activities like prom, graduation ceremonies, and sports, all contingent on getting vaccinated. But as for mandating that students get it,
just from a complete regulatory perspective, we cannot mandate a COVID-19 vaccination that's only been authorized by the FDA and has not yet been approved.
And also today, Pfizer CEO said the company does plan to submit for emergency approval for the vaccine for kids ages 2 to 11 years old sometime in September. That clinical trial is currently ongoing. And if we go in depth and look at the number of students in Michigan that currently have their other vaccines, data from the state health department shows 93% of students here were up to date on their shots as of 2019. About 4% of students signed a waiver that exempts their child from vaccination. Parents did.
And parents, we want to hear from you about whether or not you plan on signing your kids up to be vaccinated if Pfizer does get approved by the FDA. Head to our Fox 17 Facebook page and let us know what you think about it. We may use some of your responses on air. Today, Michigan is reporting another 2,527 COVID cases today. It brings the statewide total to more than 850,000. Another 126 deaths also being reported today, including 51 identified during a vital records review. So far, just shy of 18,000 Michiganders have now lost their lives due to COVID.
And about 5 million Michiganders have gotten their first dose of the vaccine. 3.1 million have been fully vaccinated against the virus. That's about 39% of the state's population. And the White House says if states don't order all the vaccines that are allocated to them each week, the administration will redistribute those unordered doses, likely to states with higher demand. States are still, we should note, getting allocations based on population.
It gives flexibility week by week, but it's really just an indication that we're in a different phase now than we were even a couple of weeks ago in terms of access to supply, and we want to ensure the doses are that we free up unused and unordered doses.
And the president this afternoon giving an update on the country's COVID response and vaccination efforts. His administration, he says, wants 70% of adult Americans vaccinated by July 4th.
That could be a challenge, though, as fewer people are now getting their first COVID vaccine dose. CDC data showing the U.S. is now administering fewer doses overall. Last week, 6.5 million doses were administered. That's 14 million fewer than the week ending April 13th. About 44% of the U.S. population has now gotten at least one dose. Scientists estimate that 70% of people will need to be vaccinated to reach herd immunity. But some health experts say that goal may not be likely.
And the situation in India is getting worse by the day. The country now the second to top 20 million COVID cases. The United States was the first. The official death toll in India has now surpassed 220,000, but healthcare workers and other experts around the world estimate those numbers are actually much, much higher.